Good evening, members of Town Council and public in attendance. Mr. Lizotte and I thank you for allowing us to be on the agenda tonight to explain two warrant articles that should be placed on the upcoming ballot. These two warrant articles are voter-specific options created by the state legislature under RSA 105C and 4147. When placed onto the ballot, the two warrant articles, in conjunction with the current warrant article to abolish Chapter 412, will ensure that citizens of Hooksett are not restricted in their rights, but permitted to vote their conscience on how the Hooksett Police Department's oversight should be structured.
As a precedent set forth by the Town Council, the reason for the warrants is to offer the voters options towards enabling Hooksett to form an oversight structure and to provide an opportunity to voters to form a viable contract with the Chief of Police. As we stand today, our charter reflects 412, which defines our current police commission structure. 412 is narrowly written, as it was the first law formulated in 1975 and one that was specific to Hooksett.
After analyzing the situation, our current situation with the police department, I came to the conclusion that we can't form a viable contract with our chief of police as we would with other administrators under the current Chapter 412.
Since 412 is narrowly written, the Police Commission must default to 105 when issues or concerns on oversight arise that are not covered in 412. 105, brought into existence in 1981, represents an evolution of 412, whereas towns within the state evolved forward to 105, Hooksett has lagged behind in its adoption.
The controversy between Chapter 412 and RSA 105 has been a constant issue. Just at the last police commission, there was a lengthy discussion of which law they were to follow.
The position of Chief of Police is extraordinarily protected by New Hampshire RSA 105:2A to a point where there's an acknowledged common theme that this is a job for life.
This protection is what stops us from having a viable contract with our chief, because RSA 105:2A supersedes any contract that you would sign with him.
As we've highlighted in the beginning, there is a need for a viable contract with a police chief. This is nothing new. Contracts are contracts, and simply put, a contract is an agreement between two parties stating conditions of employment, compensation, and time frame.
Contract offers protection to both parties, both the chief of police and the town.
New Hampshire RSA 105:2A states, such chief, superintendent, or city marshal shall be subject to suspension without pay or dismissal only for cause.
And again, because of this, RSA 105:2A, this would supersede any employment contract that you had with the chief.
Under New Hampshire RSA 105:2A, it states, Superior Court, for such a hearing within 45 days of his or her suspension or dismissal, the court shall have the power to affirm, modify, or negate such suspension or dismissal based upon its findings.
So as we see here, cause is not simply defined. You really don't know what raises to the level of cause until you reach the Superior Court.
The citizens have been provided a means to enter into a viable contract with a chief of police. It was intentionally placed into the RSA by the state legislature by design.
This is where the New Hampshire state law offers balance. Although the town can't enter into a valid contract with the chief of police, the citizens can.
An election is a contract. An election sets out the conditions of the position, its compensation, and a time frame. New Hampshire RSA 41:47, election is an electoral contract. As it states in the New Hampshire law, any town at any annual meeting under an article in the warrant for said meeting may vote to elect by ballot one or more permanent constables or police chiefs or other police officers. Taking into consideration what has been presented so far, we will now outline the warrants provided by New Hampshire law to ensure that the citizens of Hooksett are not restricted in their rights, but permitted to vote their conscience on how the Hooksett Police Department's oversight should be structured, and to provide them, the citizens of Hooksett, the opportunities for a viable contract with a police chief. Looking at Article number 1, which is the existing warrant to abolish the police commission. In order for this because it's contingent on the rest of the warrants, the date would need to be changed from an effective date from June 1st, 2011 to May 10th, 2011.
This would have to be changed so that on May 10th, if the commission were in fact abolished, that the next warrant article could take effect on that day.
The second warrant would be to establish a police commission under 105C. This would form a 3-person police commission under New Hampshire RSA 105C.
105C is the New Hampshire law that all the other police commissions in New Hampshire are governed by. This is established New Hampshire law.
Warrant 3 is a warrant to change a chief of police position to an elected position. The police chief would be elected for a 3-year term under New Hampshire RSA 41:47, with the first election to be May of 2012.
Again, 4147 is established New Hampshire law, and this warrant article would be contingent on the previous 2 warrant articles passing.
As described, the 3 warrants are simple and clear-cut. First, all of these choices are current New Hampshire law. Second, all of these choices are available to New Hampshire towns to adopt. The warrants simply represent the choices established by the legislature to ensure that the citizens of Hooksett are not restricted in their rights, but permitted to vote their conscience on how the Hooksett Police Department's oversight should be structured, and to provide the opportunity to form a viable contract with its police chief.
As Todd stated, there's no new law here. All of these are current New Hampshire laws that are in place.
Possible outcomes. Because there are 3 warrant articles and each is contingent on the previous, there are 4 possible outcomes. Outcome A, abolish the commission, fails. The next 2 would not apply. So the current commission would remain in place and there would be no changes.
If the council's warrant article to abolish the commission fails, this is really the end of the entire process. Nothing else could take place even if it passed, because 412 states that the police commission shall appoint. So you can't have an election under 412.
B, outcome B, abolish commission passes, except that a warrant established commission under 105C fails. An elected police chief then would not apply. The police commission in this scenario is abolished. The town administrator and council have oversight of the police department.
If this were to happen, there could not be an elected chief of police, because the town charter states that the town administrator shall appoint all department heads.
Outcome C, abolish the commission under 412 passes. Establish commission under 105C passes, but elect a police chief fails. The current commission is abolished A new commission would be established under RSA 105C. Chief of Police remains as an appointed position.
105 provides that the council appoint commissioners. I would think it'd be likely that the council would probably appoint the current commissioners, the current police commissioners. So I think that we would have a very similar commission that we have now, but it would be reorganized under 105 like the rest of New Hampshire.
Outcome D, the warrant to abolish the commission passes. The warrant to establish a commission under 105C passes. And warrant to change the position, to elect a police chief passes. The current commission would be abolished. The new police commission established under RSA 105C, and the chief of police becomes an elected position.
If this were to happen, the first election for the chief of police would be in May of 2012. I know this is a drastic change, but if you look at this, you can see that this would require 3 warrant articles in succession to pass. So this would be something that I think would be well thought out by the voters, and it would take 3 votes to make this change.
All choices that have been presented are New Hampshire law. All changes require a majority vote. Only the town council can provide these choices on the ballot to ensure that the citizens of Hooksett are not restricted in their rights, but permitted to vote their conscience on how the police commission, or excuse me, the police department, the Hooksett Police Department's oversight should be structured, and to possibly form a viable contract with the chief of police.
We ask you to put these warrant articles on in the vein that you put the first warrant article on. In discussing that with the council, many councilors said to me that it wasn't that they were out to abolish the commission, but that they wanted to let people decide. I would say that the warrant article that you put forth is only one choice. We are trying to provide the other 2 choices. So if in fact it is your wish to let...
Well, we'd like to thank you for allowing us on the agenda, and we'd be glad to answer any questions or engage in any discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.